This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at the Ruby Theater Complex in Hollywood for the world premiere of As Straw Before the Wind. Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Felix Rosales, and I'm the author of the play tonight, As Straw Before the Wind.
So question, why did you decide to write this piece?
Well, it's actually kind of in my subconscious for all these years. I grew up in a Philippine family. My mother was a nurse. All the women in my family were nurses. But on top of that, as a young child, I remember the mother of one of my friends was a very strong woman from a well-to-do family in the Philippines, and one night after dinner she got very, maybe drunk a little bit, and she just broke down and told this horrific story of being captured by the Japanese. Her family was, pretty much annihilated by the Japanese, and she told this story of how she and her siblings were lined up on the bow of a ship, and they were forced to watch as the Japanese army came and took their parents and just basically murdered them in front of them and then threw their bodies into a river. And she just, was just beyond sobbing. It was just horrific. And I was probably maybe 9 or 10, and I could never get that image out of my mind. So in some way, this was kind of a, letting loose of all of that, all those memories and horrible stories of the war. So,
yeah, to be perfectly honest, my feelings on the play, I thought it started out very slowly, but then at the very end, I thought it was really intense, really dark, really raw, and I really liked it toward the end.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I think that was partly intentional. I wanted to just, kind of get people into the environment, and then, and that's also why it took me a long time to write this play. I kept rewriting it and putting it aside and rewriting it. And at one point it was a 2-act play, and I felt, I didn't, thinking it over and then hearing it a few times, I felt like, no, I don't want the audience to break. I just want it to just, build to a more dramatic climax, more forceful climax. So thank you.
Yeah, I think that was a really good idea.
Yeah, so that was partly by design, that I wanted to just, have it all as one long play.
So question about the character. What should we draw from this character? Is this character so broken that there's no hope? Is it like, how could this person get closure? It's like, can't go back to your past and not have it happen. You can't stop the war. You can't say, well, it was a war. You should forget about it. It's over now. You're comfortable now. You'll never forget this.
No, and I think that's partly maybe not just her lesson, my lesson, everyone's lesson, is that, the past is the past. It's somewhere here, but you have to always be in the moment and in the present. You can never let go. You can never change the past, but you have to kind of acknowledge it, accept it, and then hopefully move on to whatever the present future holds for you. I hope that makes sense. And for Nene, I think some people have asked me and said the same thing. It's very dark at the end. Will she get reconciled with her daughter? Some people said, well, you should write a sequel. I think maybe they might get reconciled in the end, but I think for Nene, it's more, just at some point I pray that she finds just the grace to accept all the blessings she does have, and the fact that she survived so much. And then even the title of the play, As Straw Before the Wind, is from the book of Job. And Job, who lost so much and lost everything, but at the very end God restored everything to him. So that's my hope for the character of Nene.
Well, once again, I enjoyed the play. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you. Thanks very much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Leslie Sistio. I am the director of A Straw Before the Wind by Felix Rosales.
Great. So, question, why did you decide to do this piece?
Well, Felix had asked me to do the piece after. It's kind of a funny story. So I did this Facebook rant about how there isn't a lot of representation for Filipinos in the media. I watched Magic Mike. I've told this story a million times. It's quite a funny story. So I was watching Magic Mike XXX on the movie screen, and I was watching the trailers, and it was like white people this, white people that, white people killing each other, white people in romance, white people murdering each other, and I just didn't see Filipinos on set. No Asian Americans, hardly people of color, but specifically no Filipinos. If you see a person of color, they're either in the background, they're probably the best friend or something like that. I just don't see Filipinos represented in the media, on television, in the movies. And Felix had responded to this Facebook rant that I had posted on Facebook, and he said, I have this play. It's primarily, it is a Filipino story, and I was wondering if you'd help me produce it. So that's how I got involved in the production.
So what do you think of the play?
What do I think of the play? I think it's a very important story because a lot of Filipino Americans that are my age don't even know their history, and I think that that people that are my age need to know their history and know where they came from, and it's also for people in the older generations for them to remember, because a lot of people that are in that generation just want to forget about it, and it's something that we need to connect to, because my brother, it's so funny because my brother just showed me this trailer for, I forgot what it was, Darkin or Duncan or something like that, a Christopher Nolan story about World War II, and I'm like, oh great, another story about World War II about white people, and I'm like, white people again, white people, we hear World War II about white people, where are the stories about Filipino Americans, because we don't hear that side of the story, and we need to hear about Filipino Americans and how they were involved in World War II, because we don't hear that side of the story. You know, we hear so many stories, and I'm not trying to say it to make it less important. We hear so many stories about the concentration camps, and we hear about the internment. We never hear the Filipino story, and I think that's why this story in particular is important.
Question: as a director, your hardest job is casting. What do you look for in your casting?
In casting, I look for people that are dynamic on stage, recommendations, people that are easy to work with. Some of the people that have been cast in this show are people that I have worked with personally and that I have cast in other shows, and that I've had a great time working with in the past, and that I cast constantly in my shows because they're just amazing to work with. And some of the people that have been Muni and Tita were actually in the development of the show, so that's how I think they got involved, because it was through Felix. So yeah.
Well, once again, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with.
My name is Tita Pambid. I have 25 years of theater work in the Philippines, and I used to have a regular TV show, a sitcom, and a drama, like a soap opera. But right now I'm teaching at UCLA. I teach the Filipino language. I played the role of Nene, the lead role in the play as a Straw Before the Wind. Yeah. Well, I'm very sympathetic with that character because she represents a lot of Filipinas who are in the nursing profession and who are out there brave, you know, to take good care of the patients and to survive and to have a better life, as most of us would like to have that American dream. Yeah.
If my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
Oh, it's for mature audiences, but it's something that's really deep in the psyche of the Filipinos because it deals with the elderly, old age, with rape victims. It deals with Filipino-American veterans who have not gotten their fair share, and still the equity bill has not been passed. And every day, one veteran at least die, and they have not gotten their fair share of that pension that was promised to them when during the World War II when they fought under the U.S. flag.
To be perfectly honest, I thought the piece started off slow, but at the end it was so raw. It was just so intense that basically I really enjoyed the piece.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure. You know, I like to bring truth on stage, and I'm glad that it resonates with the audience, that you could feel what others are feeling, that, you know, we have a very comfortable life here in the United States, and we don't know what people undergo when they are in war. You know, the post-stress traumatic disorder, and this is one of it. It's in a woman. It happens in a woman, and I'm sure all those veterans who fought are suffering from PTSD as well.
Once again, I really enjoyed myself. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm at KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Sarnika Lim. I am a Filipino-Japanese American. I've done theater at Cal State LA, got my BA, and right now I'm going back into theater. I took a break for a little bit doing marketing, and now I'm getting back, and I'm so thankful that I had this opportunity to do a Filipino-American play because I think this is important to share our stories with the world.
And which character did you play?
Polita, she is the daughter of Nene Santos, and she plays the nurse's assistant, basically. Polita is very much someone that's like me, who has grown up with a mother who has immigrated from the Philippines to here, and she is trying her best to be both in both cultures, where she wants to please her parents, but at the same time she wants to be her own person. And so she's at that conflict of, do I keep continuing to please my parents and do what she wants, or do I finally do what I want and do my own agenda? And so it was a treat to just kind of tackle that situation.
If my viewers decide to come by and see this play, what should they expect to see?
Many different wars happening. There is war between the past and the present. There's wars between families, future generation, past generations, and just taking care of the old and moving forward with the future. Like there's a lot of conflict, I think, that happens. It's intense. It's very intense.
To be perfectly honest, to begin with, I thought it started off very slow. It started off very slow, but at the end it developed into something very, very shocking. But again, I really appreciate the drama behind it and the rawness of it.
I'm glad that you did. I mean, and that's kind of how it is with real life. You know, we meet someone and everything seems slow. Everyone likes to pretend that we're okay, you know, especially now that we're in like the social media era, where we're always like putting up like the perfect life on our Instagram, on our Facebook, and yet when you sit down with someone, you really get to know them. You see a lot of humanity, just like the pain that people have gone through, not only for themselves and their lives, but also the pain that is passed down through generations from their families, the things that their grandparents had to go through, their parents had to go through. That's all passed down, and that's all kind of suppressed. And so it's a great thing to engage in theater, because you get to heal, you get to see that happen on stage, and you get that cathartic moment. You kind of get to heal, and it provides a space where we open up and we talk about this, and that's exactly why we're doing this. We want to start a conversation about this.
Well, once again, I enjoyed myself. So thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with...
My name is Muni Zana. For over 50 years I've been in theater, film, television, even starting from Philippines over here. And I've been in the United States for 50 years, so it's been my passion. There's the performing arts. That's it. So behind the camera, in front of the camera, and on stage, and television, and so on. You know.
And which character did you play?
The part of Ponsing. It's a cantankerous old soldier with MacArthur during the Second World War, but he is being relegated into the senior housing thing or the hospices, and he doesn't like that. He wants to live home, just like the Philippine tradition, you know. So that's why I am, and my daughter has put me away in the hospice, and I didn't want that, and so I've got a conflict with my daughter. I have a conflict with the owner of the senior housing and the senior housing care, and I have conflict with practically everything, but not because I am vicious against government, against institutions, against family, but it's because I would like to go back to my family and in a home, not in the senior housing or senior care housing things. And that is the main program the main theme of the play, but it has something to do also with the conflict of the experience of the main nurse, the administrator, with her past, in the war during the Second World War. And I don't want to give what is the secret behind the story, the whole story, because.
If my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
Well, they expect to see mainly the theme of family and the relationship of the veterans that has been relegated in the past, have been forgotten, particularly the United States Armed Forces of the Philippines. That's why there has been quite some kind of protest or complaints with the United States, because the veterans of the Second World War, the Filipinos, had been kind of forgotten, and even their pensions have been held in abeyance and forgotten. But in the history, the Filipinos have a great input into the defense of democracy with the United States, of course.
To be perfectly honest, I thought the piece was a little slow to begin with, but at the end I thought it was very, very intense. It was very, very raw. It was very, very dark.
Well, so thinking that, it is. That's what I was kind of worried that myself, and there were the nuances that were kind of dragging, but it gelled after the half of the play, and it's the culture, the combination of the culture of United States life as well as the Philippine life is kind of at first it's a novelty, first of all. So people are kind of strange with that. They even touch on the cuisine, like bagoong, which is it touches on the customs of the relationship between the mother and the child, and the custom of being at home. But here in the United States, once you reach 65, you're really, and the theme of seniors being relegated into the senior homes is kind of shocking to the Philippine culture, and the same token, vice versa.
Well, I really liked your performance. I thought you were a really nice, colorful actor.
Well, thank you very much, Nick.
Thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you.
As Straw Before the Wind will be playing at the Ruby Theater Complex in Hollywood from August 13th to September 4th. For more information, go to www.strawbeforewind.com.